Yeah, another thing will be also if you're thinking about starting a podcast just to make money and get rich and blow up, it's not gonna happen probably. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a long time, especially if you don't know, the marketing. This is a complete different business model, right? Even me and you, we don't know how to monetize it right there. Like we probably know kind of the route, but we don't know how we're gonna make money, in the future of this. And that's something that we gotta think about, because we do have so many episodes. And how do we get sponsors? Is it even worth having sponsors? Maybe we should create our own our own course about podcasting, right? And then sell it in this podcast. Maybe that's a different route of monetization. But I don't know, we don't really know which route to take. I know we haven't really talked about it much, but this is our 52 episodes. It's been a year. It's been a year since we're doing this, and I think that's something that we're gonna have to talk about soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, we may as well. I mean, we're going to continue to do this, and it's continuing to grow, and every week, every month, we get more subscribers on YouTube. We get more people on the email list for the podcast. Which, if you're listening to this and you want to be on that, just go to evolvedmarketingpodcast.com. You can get on our email list, and we don't send out offers. All we do is just every Wednesday we give you a brief synopsis of the episode and remind you that it just went live. Just kind of a little reminder, and that's it. We send one email a week just to remind you. But that's growing, and yeah, I think podcasting courses might be a way to go. At some point we're going to want to monetize this, not to take the fun out of it or take the value out of it, but just to offer some more value. And I think that can be a great opportunity, because after 52 episodes, we've learned a lot of things you don't want to do. And in the beginning, in our first 3 weeks, we were just scrambling to get this thing set up. Like, we didn't know anything. And there's a lot of Googling and asking questions and reaching out to other people to figure it out. Now we pretty much got down the process where we show up an hour and get the episode done, and it just gets published, and it's good to go. And that's all just been streamlined. And it's just stuff we've learned over doing 52 straight episodes. So maybe that is something that we'll offer
Yeah.
in year two. Me, the marketer, I've had the domain name for the course for over a year now. We're just trying to figure it all out first. So that could be an opportunity. But once again, it'll be a learning experience, and
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes.
And that could be, our next little project, together. Our first project together is, of course, starting the podcast, and we already accomplished that. So now what's next? What's the next step? So I don't know. It's super interesting if we do create like a course, a program, for the podcasting, people that want to start a podcast. Basically, it will be super cool to actually do that and just expand our credibility even more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're in the market of marketing, but now we can just go in different business models like podcasting. I know you're doing MRR as well on the side. This could be another different thing. And then also, just how you say, in the beginning we had no idea what what we were doing. We started Googling it. We started looking at like what does RSS feed means, and then I remember when we published our first episode, we're like, okay, how is it gonna go to Apple? How is it gonna go to Spotify? I was like, okay, is it going to Amazon or Google? Like, we had no idea where where our episode was going. But then little by little, it started popping off here and there and here and there. And we do have a software that takes care of the whole everything. But when we first hit the first publish, we were like, I don't know if this is gonna go through, if the computer is gonna blow up. Like, like I
Yeah,
had
at
no
that point,
idea
we
how
didn't know
how
if
everything
anybody
was
was ever
gonna
going to
go.
be able to find it, or we didn't know.
Yeah. And then the cool thing about it is that once it was on Spotify, we started looking, okay, Spotify takes maybe like 10 minutes to load up in Spotify. Then I think Apple was like 45 minutes later. And then Amazon was like a different time. And it was cool how little by little we started noticing those patterns, like, okay, we know it's gonna be a little later. When you send the email, you send the email a little later in the day just to make sure it's already publishing all those platforms. And of course, you have YouTube. YouTube is amazing. It just gets published right away. Um, but yeah, it's just those little things that we didn't think about.